Hi, I'm Joe with another fish file, and it's Monday. It's time to do the water change, and I wanted to show you right down here. This was a Christmas gift from my future son-in-law, Aaron. This is the Python water drain and fill system. Now, I keep it right here in this bucket, and this bucket actually is what I used to fill with 5 gallons of water and dump it into the tank, and I'd get water all over the place, and the wood floor is starting to get weird, and that's not good. So I've had this since December. I absolutely love it. It's a game changer. There's a link below if you want to pick this up on Amazon. And so my goal every time I do a water change, which is weekly, is to not spill a drop. So here's how we do this. Now, just to get set up, this is the Python. I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. And this is the part that goes on the kitchen sink. Okay? So let's get this set up. First, follow me. Take off the faucet on your sink, like this. And then this fits on. And these are standard fittings. And the Python people are very good about helping you make sure that it fits on your sink. And so that works pretty well. You just got to get this started in here. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Wait, here. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, so you just tighten this on. Okay, that's going to sit tight. Now that will be for the fill part. Let's do the drain. I like to have that ready. So I am very fortunate in that my tank is ideally situated between a place to drain the water and a place to fill. So we take the Python and we open the tank and we open our outside door. Now it's dark out, so you can't see everything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to step outside, and you can see me a little bit. So this is the end that the water comes out. So what I do is I just toss this out like this, as far as it'll go, and then we pull this back inside. Okay, you can see this is all straightening out. Okay, and then to get the siphon started, this is a principle of physics that you can start a siphon. So fill this tube with water. Okay, yeah, I know it's hard to see. Okay, fill this tube with water, let it drain. Okay, and that will start the siphon. And now this water is actually flowing. Now, sometimes I'll do a little vacuum. Oh, look at all that gook. Okay. Yeah, I'll do a little vacuum just to kind of suck up some stuff. There's a lot of gook in here. So I'm just doing a little vacuum, not going too deep. Just want to get this place cleaned up a little bit, especially the stuff that's sitting on the top. So this kind of makes it look nicer. Turn over the substrate, get that nice clean substrate up there. And you gotta be careful of the plants. Well, that was probably a root tab I just sucked up. That's why it was all white. But let's see. Here we go. There we go. So I'm doing a little vacuuming. I don't do this every time I do a water change, but sometimes, you just gotta suck up some gunk. That's all. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just gonna smooth out. Out for that Cory, smooth it out, and now I'm just going to let this sit here. Now I want you to notice on the side of the tank, I don't know if you can see this, but I put little lines. Now you may not want to do this on your tank. These joints are a little dirty on mine, so they don't really show up too much, but this first line right here, that's 25%. How do I know that? Well, I took a ruler and I measured, and it's like 12 inches, so I went down 25%. This dot is about 33%, and then this line here is 50%. I usually go down to 30 to 35%. I do pretty substantial water changes, and so now you can see it's getting close to 30%. And take a look in there, you can kind of see, it's getting low. Okay, so now we're down to 30%. Okay, now when you're done siphoning, all you have to do is lift this end up, Okay, and now the water is just flowing out. And so what I'm doing is, as I'm pulling this, I'm going to coil this up. And remember, the idea is to not spill a drop. Although I can see that I've already spilled a drop. And as I pull this, because I'm higher than the end of the hose, the water is actually running out. Okay, as I pull this up. Okay, and the hose is emptying. Okay, and a few drops there. Yeah, what are you going to do? Okay, close the door. Okay, so that takes care of the drain. Now, to get started with the fill, okay, we put the siphon back in the tank. Okay, now we're going back to the kitchen sink. Oh, and the most important thing is this valve. You want to close this valve, okay? Close this valve, very important, before you start the fill, okay? Oh, shoot, I knocked off a leaf. Oh well. Okay, so just uncoil it. Just let it uncoil naturally. Into the kitchen we go. And you see, now I'm going to attach this here to this. Okay, now the way this works, it's very clever. You want to make sure and get this on good and tight. You want to make sure all these fittings are tight because you're going to put these under pressure. Remember, I closed that valve? Okay, when I turn on the water here and that valve is closed, it's going to build up pressure. And so you want to get back to that end as quickly as possible. But for the time being, this here, this is a valve. This opens and closes. Now watch. See the water's coming out? If I push this up, it closes this and the water then goes to the hose. Now, I had this great idea because I wanted to make sure that the water that I put in was at about the same temperature as the aquarium water so I didn't shock the fish. I was thinking, how can I do that? You know, I'm not really sure. Ah, look what I have. As a master barbecuer, I have an instant read thermometer. I thought, I am so smart. So, as the water's coming out here, and I can tell that's already a little warm, so I can adjust this, and I'm going to go for about 73, 74 degrees, which is a little cool, but that's what the tank is at. Okay, so we're pumping 90 here. So just adjusting the water a little bit, and okay, now it's a little too cold, a little bit over, okay, a little bit more, okay, a little bit more, 73, 74, 75, 76. Okay, that's good. Okay, now comes the moment. Okay, so now watch here. Now I push this up. Push this up, there we go. And see, now it locks. Now the water is coming out through the tube. And remember, this valve is closed. Okay, so now I'm going to open this valve slowly. And the water starts coming out the end of, whoops. Well, it's under pressure, so you got to be careful. You want to open this kind of slowly, kind of quickly. There we go. So, yeah, that's never happened before. Okay. And so now the tank is filling. And I actually did spill a few drops this time, but generally speaking, I've gotten very good at it. Probably I had that sink flow a little high, that's why it came rushing out. But I gotta tell you, man, the Python was a game changer because what I used to do is fill up that bucket, the one that I showed you, 5 gallons. 5 gallons of water at 8 pounds per gallon. That's 40 pounds, right, that I was lifting and pouring into this tank. And that was messy, and sometimes I spilled, and it was always a little crazy. You know, I hope I don't lose my grip here. And the water came in at such a high rate that it disturbed the substrate and all this, and the temperature was ambient room temperature. I really had no control over it. I had always thought about getting a heater to put in that bucket to, put that water at the same temperature as the aquarium. I never got to that. But when Aaron gave me the Python for Christmas, this was a game changer. Okay. Okay, so now the water is right about where I want it. I close the valve. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to bring this in with me real quick. And This is the only thing I don't like is sometimes this fitting isn't as tight, but it's under pressure. So just turn the water off and open this valve. Okay, and that releases the pressure. Okay, like I say, that force was probably a little high, maybe not turn it on so much. So now, open the valve. Okay, and remember what we did before. Now we're going to drain the hose, okay, merely by lifting it up. Okay. All right, and it will go into the sink through that valve there. Okay. And you can hear the water coming out as it drains out of the hose. And one of the things I try to do is keep the siphon end pointed up so that the water doesn't drip. All right. Okay. So now we have an empty hose. Undo this. Pull this off. Okay, that's that. And this is the part I always forget, and an hour later my wife has to remind me, Joe, you've got that thing on there. So this needs to come off, and actually what I find helpful is you get the rubber glove and just give it a little twist. And you can see, so the plastic comes off the fitting, and then just use this to pull off the fitting. Very easy. You could use a washcloth or just anything. And then just to keep it, you just thread this in there for next time. Okay, and don't forget to put this back on, but I'll come back to that. I'll probably forget. But okay, and then just gather up. You want the two ends pointing up so no water comes out. And back in the bucket she goes, ready for the next time. So the Python drain fill, love it, highly recommend it. Look down below for a link on Amazon. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. That's another fish file. I'm Joe. We'll see you next time.